So we're going to chain 16, right, into the third chain from the hook. We're going to make a half double crochet, and this is the beginning of row 1. And into each chain across, we're going to make a half double crochet. So by the end of this row, we should have a total of 14 half double crochet stitches. Okay, now we're going to turn our work and we're going to chain 2. And so this is the beginning of row 2. So into the first stitch, we're going to make 1 half double crochet to start the row, and then we're going to make crossed half double crochets for the rest of the row. So we're going to skip the first stitch. Into the next stitch, we're going to make a half double crochet like normal, okay? And then to make the crossed half double, we're going to work into that skip stitch. So we're going to yarn over, but we're going to kind of go from behind the stitch, and we're going to make a half double crochet. So that's how you make the crossed half double. So we're going to make another one, regular half double crochet, and then we're going to make that crossed half double crochet into the skip stitch. So by the end of this, we should have a total of 6 crossed half double crochet pairs, and then we should have a half double crochet stitch at the beginning of the row and then one at the very end. Okay, so we've arrived at our last stitch, so we're just going to make a half double crochet stitch, and I normally skip the last half double crochet and I make my final one into that beginning 2 chain that we skipped at the beginning of row 1, and that just makes my edge a little bit straighter. Okay, I'm going to turn my work, and now I'm going to start row 3. So we're going to repeat row 2. We're going to start with a chain 2. In the first stitch, we're going to make a half double crochet. Alright, and then from here on out, we're going to be making crossed half double crochets. So we're going to make it the exact same way. We're going to skip this first stitch, and into the next stitch, we're going to make a half double crochet. Now we are going to make a half double crochet into the stitch we skipped, but we're going to kind of come in from behind. And there we go. So we're going to do that all the way across until we get to the last stitch. Alright, we've arrived at our last stitch of the row, so I'm going to skip this last stitch right here, and I'm going to work my last stitch, my half double crochet, into the turning chain or the beginning chain of row 2. Perfect. Alright, now row 4 starts with a chain 2, and we're going to make a half double crochet in the first stitch and across, so in each stitch across. So we should have a total of 14 half double crochet stitches once we're done this row. And again, guys, we are at the last half double crochet stitch, so we're going to kind of skip it and we're going to work our final half double crochet into the beginning 2 chain of row 3. Alright, so for row 5 and 6, we're going to repeat row 4, which is just rows of half double crochet stitches. So in each stitch across, make a half double crochet. So I will meet you guys back here at the end of row 6. Okay guys, so we've just finished row 6. So at this point, we have 3 rows of half double crochet stitches. So we're going to turn our work. We're going to start row 7 with a chain 2, and then into that first stitch, we're going to make a half double crochet. So this row is the exact same as row 2 and 3. We are going to be working crossed half double crochet pairs. So again, skip that first stitch, work into the next stitch and make a half double crochet, then into the skip stitch, come in from behind and make a half double crochet, and that crosses them. So we're going to repeat that all across until we get to the last stitch, which will be a half double crochet. Alright, into the last stitch, we're going to skip that last stitch and work our final half double crochet into the beginning 2 chain of row 6. Alright, so row 8 is the exact same as row 7. It's going to be our crossed half double crochets, so we're going to chain 2, make our first half double crochet like normal, and then begin our crossed half double crochet pairs. So skip that first stitch, into the next stitch, come in from behind, all the way across until we get to the last row. Or sorry, the last stitch. Okay, we're back at the last stitch, so we're going to make our final half double crochet into the beginning 2 chain of row 7. Alright, and then row 9 is our last row for our gauge swatch, so we're going to chain 2 to start and make a half double crochet in each stitch across. So we should have a total of 14 half double crochets once we're done row 9, and that's all there is to the gauge swatch. So when you check this, the gauge is just a way to check to see if we crochet with the same tension, just so that you can get an idea of how wide and how long your blanket will be. So if we crochet with the same amount of tension, your blanket will be the same size as mine if you follow the pattern. But if your gauge doesn't meet mine, if it's a little bit bigger than mine, then you might have to go down a hook size, and if it's a little bit smaller than mine, then you might have to go up a hook size. So I hope that makes sense. So that's all there is to the gauge swatch. I hope you guys enjoy making the rest of the blanket.